Hey everybody, this is Ben with Hayesville Drainage and Rainwater Harvesting, and I want to discuss with you a project that we co-designed and installed in western North Carolina. We collaborated with two other companies on this project, Shades of Green Permaculture and LG Squared. The owner of the property decided that they wanted to have complete water sovereignty for domestic use as well as their homestead agriculture use. We started by tapping a spring in the mountains above their homestead. While we were excavating it, we found some residue of an old spring house that had been built 100 or more years in the past, and they had tapped the spring in the exact same location that we chose. From here, the water flows down to a 3,000-gallon above-ground cistern that we stuccoed in order to protect the tank and maintain the temperature of the water. From here, the distribution line and the overflow line flow down the hill approximately 2,500 linear feet with 125 feet of drop to a pump called the High Lifter. The High Lifter is a gravity pump that uses energy contained in falling water to pump a portion of that water uphill. It is similar to a ram pump, but the mechanism is different and has some distinct advantages over it. From here, the distribution lines and the High Lifter conveyance line run up the hill towards the homestead. The spring tank distribution line goes to the barn to the manifold, where it provides water to either the potable or non-potable lines at about 39 psi. The High Lifter conveyance line continues up the hill, 1,800 more feet, and around 200 feet in height towards the cisterns that we imaginatively called the hill tanks. The hill tanks are two 3,000-gallon cisterns that are sistered together for a total of 6,000 gallons of storage. We also put a concrete stucco around them in order to maintain cool temperatures for the water on the inside of the tanks and to protect the outside of the tanks. We also installed some internal cleanout methods at the bottom of this tank. There's a vacuum siphon which you can start and literally vacuum the sediment at the bottom of the tank out and out of the overflow, as well as a floating extractor which takes water for the distribution line from a point that's 4 inches below the surface of the water, which is the cleanest water in the tank. This tank has a well backup, so if the level drops to about a quarter full, the float switch turns on the well pump, which will transfer water into the tank until it gets to about a third full, and then it'll shut itself off. From here, the distribution line runs back down towards the home site, the manifold in the barn, where it provides water at 60 psi to both the potable and non-potable distribution lines. Standing at the manifold, you can control which sources of water charge which set of distribution lines. The spring tank can provide up to 3,000 gallons of stored water, or about 6,000 gallons total per day, at around 39 psi. The hill tanks have access to around 6,000 gallons of stored water that is recharged with spring water at about 1,000 gallons per day. The non-potable distribution lines are all of the hydrants that are outside throughout the home site. The potable lines charge all of the indoor sinks, showers, and water features. We also plumbed in a future well backup, so if they want to run the well direct to either of these lines, with a little bit more hooking up, that will be possible too. There are also two separate rainwater harvesting systems that capture water from the roof through downspouts. One is stored in a 1,550-gallon tank, and the other system is comprised of two 1,500-gallon tanks that are sistered together to function as one tank. Each of these systems has its own submersible pump, which provide water at 40 psi direct to the non-potable distribution lines. In all, there are 13,550 gallons of stored water charged by rain and a spring that provides around 6,000 gallons per day. The water is used for domestic purposes as well as irrigation, for orchards, landscapes, and gardens. Once again, this is Ben with Hayesville Drainage and Rainwater Harvesting. Thanks for watching this video about a really cool water system we installed in western North Carolina. For more information, go to www.hayesvilledrainage.com.